Yeah, definitely. They are that more mid tier, just under the echelon of like top like TY innovation, Maru, right? And yeah, it's just cool to see Dream specifically return to form. He's probably, we spoke about this before. He's probably the highest performing player that has returned
Him
from
and
the
DRG.
military. Him alongside, there we go, DRG. Yeah, the two of them have proven everyone wrong. Everyone was like, yeah, like when they come back, they're a little bit more
They're
washed up, like as
old.
Tasia and
Their bones are falling
yeah,
off.
as a lot of Tasia, 4GG, Pulse. There were lots that didn't
I
really
mean,
live up to it, but
I think
Dream
4GG
is
went to
here.
Brute War, actually. I mean, I think he did retire
He
from Brute
played
War too, but and I haven't really caught up.
he played StarCraft for like a month. Like it wasn't a long time.
Yeah. I mean, he's still streaming, if I'm not wrong, in Africa. But, speaking of which, that is not what we're talking about. We are now talking about a TvP coming out for you. The second one tonight, and in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Submarine L_E. We have the blue Protoss player coming at ya all the way from the land of Korea. He is the Shield himself. The one who blesses the reins. Not quite that super stylish teammate of his, but pretty close. He is Stats.
And it came to me as soon as you started the intro. The player that I was thinking of
There
was
you
Fantasy.
go. Yeah, Fantasy
Pretty
had
cool.
some pretty sick games,
There
but
we
yeah,
go.
yeah, couldn't quite compete with other players.
Kind of. We'll get into it. Spawning in at the top left-hand corner of Submarine LE, we have the Korean Terran player representing Brave Star Gaming, BSG. It is Dream.
I think Fantasy was probably the best preparation Terran during his brief little comeback when he came back from the military. You know, he had really good, specifically against preparing for a specific player.
If you do recall, everyone was hyped, and everyone in the online scene was hyped as well. Maynard, especially because Fantasy, when he came back from the military, he was playing so well, performing so well in Olima League and all these online tournaments. And then after a couple of months, after a disappointing run in GSL, he just stopped, and everyone was shocked. Everyone was like, "What? But you're on the it's like you're on the rise right now," and it felt like Fantasy maybe wasn't satisfied with the rate of how well he was improving. Like he wanted to be like better, faster, I think, and he just
The MMA route.
He ended up stepping away. Yeah, he did. He actually did. Yeah.
As he is now a coach for, I don't think they're called SK Telecom T1 anymore. I think they're just T1 now.
Yeah, they're just T1. Yeah. But it's cool that Fantasy, he's still in the scene again, but would have been nice to have seen him continue to compete, but to each his own. And speaking of which, Dream, he's one of the ones who came back from the military, is looking so well. There's a lot of hype surrounding him, and we'll see how he does here against the Shield.
I think a lot of people have been saying, and it's hard for me to disagree, Dream may be the best mechanical Terran player out there right now. And that ties in a lot to his playstyle. Again, I don't want to say it's a gamble kind of style, because it's really not. Dream is a kind of player who, he really relies on trying to get as much map information as he can before making his next move. But whenever he sees an opportunity, he just goes straight on for it, 100%, relying on his micro and his positioning to be able to win these engagements.
Yeah, definitely. And Stats opting to be the more cheeky opponent here, as he went for that Twilight Council and went for the Dark Shrine behind it.
This may be a way to wake Dream up. I apologize. I could have came up with something better.
I like that, but I like that more like at the end of the game or at the end of a series. You can't use that one quite yet. Okay.
This is gonna be a bad dream for now.
Stop!
A dark dream, if you will.
God damn it. We'll see how this. I'm not gonna do it. But oh, actually, both dropships do miss each other. The War Prism and the Medevac. I don't know if they.
Yeah,
oh,
Dream
the Marine
definitely
spots it
knows the
though.
War Prism is coming in right now, and it seems like Stats is prepared, but not quite in position.
Oh.
A mine drops here, and another mine going right into the main base. This is gonna get damage. Stats is bunch up his probes, but does manage to evacuate. Loses a little bit more than he would like, but that was some pretty good damage. And Dream, you moved away just at the wrong moment, my guy.
He was just out of position. He is working on a Raven, which is quite nice, but the DT is already killing quite a number of Marines. Sorry, and I don't know if there's energy for a scan. Oh, there we go.
I think you should be able to clear out these two. No, the Marines have been taken out. Stats really prioritizing what you need to get done.
Exactly, and there's still a DT in the natural as well, just swiping away at that bunker. But the missile turret did just finish up to help with that, and yeah, like 4 SCVs went down as well as 12 Marines.
That was really nice damage from both sides, I would say. I think favoring Stats a little bit more because, again, you really losing that many Marines this early on can have a massive snowball effect if you let it. And it's really easy to let it.
Yeah, and it just allows this War Prism to move around more unhindered because there's less anti-air, right? And now the Archons are here in the main base. And could even try and jump on top of the tank, but Optional 2 just gets a couple of SCVs
Alright, I'm
instead.
looking at the energy count on this Raven, not quite enough for a disable. It's a little bit unfortunate, but what can you do? A turret is, you know, always a really good defensive unit if he has to use it.
Yeah, definitely, and regardless, like, I do think that Dream, he's a little bit on the back foot, like, he's forced to be here defensively because the War Prism and the Archons are still a threat, and because of that stats, he has the freedom to take his third base.
And so he does. War Prism just dancing back and forth, really trying to find an opening.
Yeah, definitely. And he has to be careful because if he drops the Archons at the wrong moment and then he gets disabled, then the Archons are stranded, right? Like, they'll be free to be taken out and they won't be able to be picked up. But
like so, but yeah,
the Raven's not
here. The Marines really doing a lot of, or really taking a lot of splash damage there.
Yeah, more and more Marines are just being shaved off, and this is gonna hurt the push, right? Like, Stim, it's about to finish up, but so many Marines have already gone down this game that the push that Dream was hoping to go for is just so hindered because of it.
Yeah, look at the army supply, it's about even right now, and if you're gonna be going for this kind of timing attack, you really want it to be at about 1.5 times higher. I think my math is right. But Dream realizes that he can't really go for that timing push if he wants to, so that he wanted to, so now going for more of a drop style. Or harass.
Yeah, with this Viking, he should be able to shut this down, and he does push it all the way away. Again, they're really nice micro by Stats, was able to shave off more Marines, and this looks like he may try and hunt this down.
Yeah, the War Prism is fast, but the stimmed Marines can be faster. But Dream has kind of decided, yep, I've kind of dealt with that. I do not want to overextend myself, lose my Marines unnecessarily. He's already kind of behind from what he wanted to have in terms of his Marine count, so just keep them alive.
Yeah, and there we go. It does seem that we had a drop in the main base of Stats. A couple of probes are going down to, I believe it may have been Widow Mines. No, sorry, it was Auto Turret. My bad.
One way to make use of the Raven, especially nowadays when you really only have 2 available to you when it's a full health Raven. In terms of the disables, I mean. Yeah,
definitely. And I love that Dream is going for drops. Like, I feel like he needs to, but it may be a little bit too late because Stats, it's Submarine, right? The rush distance is so small that he's already at the door of Dream.
Very much so is, and this defense is looking a little bit lacking. There are a lot of reinforcements behind this.
Yeah, and Stats kind of just chilling, reinforcing, warping in more and more units outside the main base of Dream. And Dream, he's on siege.
And his bio army is split just at the proper way for these Colossus to really make use of their splash damage. Everything is going down. I think this is going to have to be it.
Yeah. The tanks to the north are being taken out, the tanks to the south as well. 25 SCVs are going down, and there it is. I'm not too sure what it says, but...
Please.
Maddox.
GG.
And honestly, I'm just surprised that game 1 was on submarine. Like, all right, sure. Is game 2 going to be on Golden Wall? Like, what happened?
Vetoes,
What kind of series are we getting into? Right? Yeah.
Did they just decide, I know you want the good map, I'm gonna veto it.
They vetoed all the good maps and now they're left with the terrible ones. It's possible. It's possible. I'm scared to click on this link to see what kind of map we're gonna head into.
Okay, it's a pretty good map.
Okay. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. It's a good solid middle ground.
Well, I mean, the middle ground is pretty solid because it has the speed zones.
Yeah, that it does. And we are going to be heading into this next game.
Yeah, and I guess we'll get into it after we do the intros. It's not quite related to the players, but somewhat. And speaking of not quite related, here we are now on to the Death Aura. That is the unrelated map, or the voice that I use on this map is completely unrelated to the choice. I'm just doing the old man from The Simpsons at this point. That one.
I was about to say you're going like a little bit German there towards the end.
I'm just like the Froget guy from The Simpsons now. I don't. In the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner of the map, we do in fact have a blue Protoss player coming out all the way from the land of Korea. And I got a question for you, like, Africa? Question mark?
Blessing the rains.
Representing a freak of freaks, we have the Shield of Aya. Well, I mean, I think Trap took that temporarily, but I guess it's now back onto this guy right now. The Shield of Aya. Its stats. Boy.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Brave Star Gaming, BSG. It is Dream.
BSG. And I gotta tell you, like, speaking of vetoes, there are gonna be quite a number of stuff coming in with the 10th anniversary update for StarCraft 2. Two of them I'm really looking forward to. Server selection in the actual lobby itself. That's the big one, I think, especially for us. But number two, a bit more importantly, I guess it doesn't really apply to our events because we use a bit of a different format, but definitely for things like ESL Cup and whatnot, the more veto formats, there's gonna be the ability to kind of make maps in a series. Basically, you have the lobby and you set which maps are going to be for which thing, and then after the game, you automatically get invited to the lobby again. It's a little bit buggy right now in the PTR.
Yeah, you can make.
You know, it's PTR.
Yeah. I think something that's a little bit, to me, is a little bit sad, but also like I understand why. Is that I'm pretty sure that these changes are only because of ESL, because during 2020 everything was forced online, so ESL themselves had to face these issues, these online only issues that they normally don't face, especially with server selection. That this is the results.
Look,
that that because ESL had to put up with it, then Blizzard had to make the change.
Got here,
I'm almost 100% sure.
However we got here,
I know.
I'm pretty satisfied with that.
I know.
Imagine we no longer have
it's one of those
spam, then stats will just join a random lobby. Oh, it's great.
It's one of those things where like, I'm sure that this change, it's possible that it was like a quick and easy thing that it barely took any work at all, and like we could have had it years ago, but they didn't do it because they didn't quite do it because not enough people, or I guess nobody big enough complained about it. Yeah, exactly. That's 100% it. That's 100% it.
That's kind of why we had like the custom clients, right, for offline events, because then you don't have to worry about the server select. Yeah,
exactly. And like, you're right in saying that at the end of the day, we're here. It's good that we're getting this update now. Better now than never, right? But at the same time, part of me is like, you could have done this earlier. You know. At the same time, though, it is what I'm looking forward to the most with the
So
upcoming
basically, once again, thanks ESL.
Thank you, ESL. I hope that we can throw more curveballs at it. Oh my god, let's what about the lobby bug? Let's just make ESL admins experience the lobby bug countless times so they can finally complain to Blizzard about it, you know? Like,
you know what? Seal is gonna try to get one of the higher ups to complain about the interface.
exactly. That's what we need to do. That's the new goal here.
So your goal is
oh my god,
not
the
much again. Its goal.
intercepted.
Scouting was achieved, but no probes are going to be going down in the duration of this. Stats. Scouting the drop with his observer very early on. Really able to position himself so well.
Yeah, and I've almost never seen this. Literally 0 damage done here by those Widowmines. Typically, you see at least like 1 probe each, but no shots went off at all. Dream opting to go through the center of the map, so he did get intercepted instead of trying to get the drop in through an angle. And yeah, just like that. Oh, he could even lose the back.
Stats is back with a vengeance. He was not satisfied that he wasn't able to kill Dream with the DTs outright.
Jesus Christ, this blink opener has just done so much. The observer is already here as well, so he could blink into the main base. I think it would be a bit of a mistake. There is plenty of units here defensively for Dream, but regardless, picking up some... Oh god, a Marine goes down as well.
It was an absolutely solid opening.
Stats. Yeah, he's just looking so good right now in this series, and I do like this from Dream being a little bit cheeky, you know, picking away at those stalkers, and and something that I noticed is I don't think Maddox is in this lobby, so we don't have those translations.
We'll screenshot it and send him to it later.
Yeah. Instead, into the new are the Korean casters for this series. I believe Maddox is somewhere in the upper bracket.
Oh! Thanks, Inu!
Thank you so much.
I didn't want to be like, Inu, translate, because I don't feel, I don't want to, I'm not comfortable being that mean to Inu just yet.
I was about to say, we're a lot more comfortable with Maddox. Like,
Extreme gain. Yeah. That was a pretty big gain.
Shout out to the Korean casters, by the way. For the people who maybe aren't aware, they typically try and translate whatever the Korean players are saying, whether it's Maddox, Crank, or into the Inu. Meanwhile, the War Prism was completely missed by the army of Dream.
A lot of flavor when we translate it, and yeah, you were right. The War Prism does get missed out, and Dream pushing out. This is actually looking to be a bit of a 3-base all-in coming from Stats. Could be having a base trade coming out right now.
Oh, but the army of Stats is still here. Force fields are available as well, so if Dream tries to push up the ramp, he could be cut off, split in half, and the Zealots is just dealing so much damage. Oh, he gets up the ramp though.
And very nice use of force fields. There are still a couple of stragglers of the bio left behind here, and Dream just falling apart of his push right now. We have mentioned before that Dream, he really has to execute his plans perfectly in order to get a lot done, and is he actually going to do it like... No.
It looks like the reinforcing Zealots
are a bit too much there. Meanwhile, Dream making a lot of not Immortals, the other, the Terran version, Marauders here back at home, but unfortunately, they don't do too well against the Zealots. A lot of Marines have gone down, and I believe the... Wait. Units lost tab. Am I?
War Prism still alive.
War Prism is still alive. Am I mistaken? But was there a... Okay, he was building a third base in that location, and then he canceled and went to the other location.
Yeah, and we were just mentioning it, the War Prism dives back in as the army of Dream left, and more damage. A couple of units
out here, nice little bit of Marine juggling, you know, whatever you can do to really have a good defense here. I think Results will eventually clean this out, but Dream, he is coming home, and whatever happens from now, it's still going to be a favor for Stats. Or in favor of Stats.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he's dealing all this damage, and he forces Dream's army back home for defense. Like, this War Prism has just done so much for Stats, and he keeps War Prism alive in the end. If you
look at Stats' main army right now, he doesn't have a lot. Dream could have just killed Stats right there, but a very nice little bit of a backstab here from Stats does draw everything back.
Yeah. as we see with the suppliers, like Dream, like his army was definitely formidable. He could have maybe dealt some kind of damage across the map, but he was forced home instead because of that War Prism. Does delay his push, and now Stats with this 3-base economy is going to start ramping up.
It really is. And Stats has bought himself more than enough time. The Templar Archives is already out. Going to be warping in a couple of Templar just to build up the energy there. Dream, I mean, he can still get something done. There's a little bit of a window right now, but that's a lot of Zealots. That's a lot of Immortals. And you can never rule out the Templar.
Yeah, I don't think he'd fare too well in a head-on engagement, but maybe, you know, he has a decent amount of medevacs. He could try and drop into the main base or try and do multi-prong. You know, because of the Marauders, he could snipe buildings as well, so there's definitely a lot of potential. But we'll see, as it looks like he was trying and hunt down that War Prism, but the War Prism did sneak away.
Did manage to. I like that every time it peeked into a Marauder, it just like, nope, dipping out. And I do like that Dream is starting to incorporate a couple of Liberators at this point. It's hard to say what you want, right? When you're looking at the army of Stats. Do you want siege tanks? Do you want mines? Yeah, you want a little bit of everything. And you know, I think the siege tank and the Liberators, they are a decent combination right here. Really going to depend on the positioning. Nice little aggressive blinks coming in here from Stats. Beautiful storms, blanketing most, if not all, of the bio. A pretty good split. I think Dream has mitigated as much of the storm damage as possible.
Yeah, but with the reinforcing Zealots, again, he is forced back. All the tanks went down, the Liberators as well. So Dream, I do like that he's kiting his way back, getting as much value as he can. But will he have enough to stop this push? Oh, it does have a couple of reinforcing tanks.
Yeah, and I mean, Dream, he's been driven back, but he does have enough to try to drive Stats away once again. Is it going to be enough, though? Because as you said, Stats now has the 4th base up and running. Going to start saturating that up. And Dream, he is struggling right now. His income isn't bad, but he just has he's just been behind for way too long that he can't quite produce what he wants at the rate that he wants.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's trying his best. He's getting more tanks, more Liberators. Like, he's not stopping his production. It's just his economy that's kind of hurting because he's lost so many SCVs throughout the course of this game because of all those Zealot drops and Zealot run-bys. And it looks like Stats, oh, he's going to be going up the ramp, off to the right-hand side.
Nothing, sucker. Oh no, but a War Prism is coming in!
Sees nothing.
No, it's not. It's gonna go for the storms, storm the bio, and that's a much better storm coming up here from Stats. Just about everything, all of the retreats of the bio have been covered in storms. I do not see Dream coming back from this.
Yeah, there it is.
And Stats takes out Dream 2-0. He is going to be going on to be one of the first quarterfinalists? No, that was the quarterfinals. He's going to be your first semifinalist of the evening. That was fast. And we actually already have our other semifinalist. Sats is actually our second semifinalist of the evening. Gonna go up to face a bit of a familiar story here, Light. SOS.
Yeah, the lower half of the bracket has progressed quite quickly today. Already the semifinals are prepared for us. Meanwhile, the upper half is still ongoing. Like, still even one of the quarterfinals hasn't even started. So, yeah, it looks like we may as well head into the first semifinals.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
it makes no sense at this point. The other quarterfinals are still going on. In fact, Hurricane is actually waiting for his other quarterfinalist.
Yeah, like, again, the matches in the upper half have gone on a lot longer. So yeah, we will be heading into our first semifinals. Of course, it's a PvP.
As is tradition. I just want to point out, we've gotten to the semifinals in under 2 hours. We have not seen a single ZVZ yet. Or a single Zerg player, for that matter.
Yeah, and we have not. They're kind of hitting each other as we speak. Solar versus Ragnarok. I would have loved to have seen that, but they are the only 2 Zerg players remaining, so they will be knocking each other out. So yeah, we will at least have a Zerg player in the semis.
Yeah, that's definitely something to look forward to.